Hey, it's Paul with Mossy Oak Properties. I just finished up a couple of showings today. We had a group come in from California for a few days, and they were looking for actually to relocate and looking for some farms down here in Wayne County. So we spent the morning and afternoon looking at a few large farms with houses on them. I just wanted to kind of go over how I go about showing and treating my prospective buyers. First thing I do is before you come in town, or if you're from here, we narrow down the area you want to be in. Sometimes that's narrowed down to a county, sometimes it's just narrowed down to a section of the state, whatever it may be. But I do my due diligence online, get you a lot of properties to sift through, and then we start narrowing them down from there. We'll pick out, the top 3, 4, 5, potentially 5 or 6 properties, depending on how much time we have. We look at those very thoroughly. Like I said, today it is right about 3 o'clock, I believe. We've been going since 9. We've looked at two farms, basically totaling about 350 acres. So that kind of gives you an idea of the time we've spent on each farm. I just pulled up on the trailer, but sitting in my side-by-side, I like to get all my clients around comfortably as we can on trails, and then we walk as well. As much as you would want to. But got a 6-seater side by side, got cooler in the back with drinks, got a chainsaw in case we come across a down tree or something in the trail. It doesn't ruin our trip, that we can't get around it, and we're stuck missing a big part of the property. I dedicate a map to each property that I show, and I have a GPS on my phone in my pocket. I have an aviation GPS that hooks into my side by side. So as we're touring the property, we're tracking ourselves. So as you can see, for this portion of the property today, this is everywhere we went. And I'll take some photos, say right here, it's hard to see on this map. There's a nice about 1.5 acre pond right here. There's a nice creek that runs through back here. And we'll just get photos of stuff. And what I'll do is I'll incorporate those photos into this map, or potentially videos into this map. And I will send that for each property to the prospective buyers at the end of the night when I get home, along with the little summarization of each property and basically a comparative market analysis. I've already worked up one for each property we're looking at, but after you look at the property, you can refine it a little bit more detail. So I'll get that over to them. If they're comfortable on what we've looked at so far and they're ready to make a decision, and from there I'll advise them on the market value of the price and strategies excuse me, to purchase, to offer and purchase, and then also any contingencies that we may need to put in. Getting around comfortably and having mapping systems and knowing terrain and timber and septic sites and buildings is extremely important and valuable. The second part of that is, if we were to get this under contract, you need a good negotiator. Your agent's going to potentially save you a lot of money. Sorry, I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. But also, from, say, we go under contract to closing, you've got things like inspection on the home, inspection on septic, surveys, making sure title's clean. But there's a lot of steps involved in there that can save you a lot of heartache if you don't understand the process, or if you don't have a professional guiding you in that process. And that's what I'm here to do. I'm not looking out for my interest in any form or fashion. My sole focus is on the buyer and making sure they get the best deal at the right expense, and that we don't overlook anything that might come to be a regret. So lining all those up, especially for my out-of-state clients, getting these inspections done, if this were going to come under contract, say getting that done in the next 10 to 15 days is not really an option for them to be here to do. So I'm happy to come out here, get all that done, meet who I need to meet, make sure we get everything completed, and present that information to them, provide it to them, and make a final decision during that contingency inspection period to make sure everything is what we thought it was, what it was advertised as, and move forward to make a informed, solid decision that hopefully is a great investment and a great home site for their future. They plan to retire here, and I think, whether it's this farm or one of the others we look at, we want to make sure it's the right fit, because it's definitely a long-term investment for them. And then he is a long range shooter. So this farm is really cool because, as you can see over there, it's about 400 plus almost 500 yards. We got a nice high bank, and he is going to set up a nice shooting range right here if he decides to purchase this farm. He's not going to have horses or any livestock. He loves to hunt. This place has got a lot of sign, a lot of deer stands in place, and so we've marked those and taken pictures, marked out the trails, and just make sure, say he does buy this one, he's not coming in blind on day one and trying to remember what did Paul show me a month or so ago, that everything's there. And I'm obviously always here to come back out and re-show once it's purchased, because like I said, I store a lot of this information on my maps and I take a lot of notes. So I retain a lot of information from the farms I look at. And the other bright side is I'm just looking at more farms in Tennessee. So I'm adding to the inventory of property that I've actually set foot on and looked at. If this one isn't the one they decide to choose or go with, the next buyer that has similar needs and similar wants, well, I've got one more property that I've actually put my feet on, been all over, spent 3 or 4 hours on this one alone, and know, just about everything that I can know about the property by walking it and without doing any serious soil testing or anything of that nature. That's what I love to do. Just another property in Middle Tennessee that I've been on, that I know for the future, and this is what I do every day. So that's why I quit my old career. I love being out here in nature and God's creation and exploring land, looking at land, seeing the pros and cons of different properties versus what different people are looking to do. And so if you're a prospective buyer, if you're interested in looking at some land, absolutely feel free to give me a call. Be happy to show you around anywhere in Tennessee. My number is 615-522-7298. Or you can obviously email me. It's pmorrison@mossyoakproperties.com. And then the last thing I wanted to remind y'all, the National Wild Turkey Federation show starts Thursday of next week, the 13th. And Mossy Oak Properties will have a booth there with the Mossy Oak booth. We're really just there to meet you, get to know you, talk about hunting, talk about whatever you want to talk about. We're not there to push land or buying and selling with us on you. If that organically happens, great. If not, no problem at all. But we'd love to see you guys stop by the booth. The show's a lot of fun, so I hope y'all can swing by there. I know a lot of guys from the office will be rotating the desk and manning the desk, and the rest of us will be kind of floating around the show looking at stuff ourselves. So if you see us in some of this gear, say hey, and we'd love to meet you and talk to you. I believe it's 9 to 6 every day. So if you get a chance, swing by. It's always a lot of fun. And until then, y'all be safe, and we'll talk soon. Thank y'all.